This is the top 10 Board Game Geek climbers for the week ending 12/16/2020. This is a list put together every week by Michael Alexander. I'll have a link in the description of the current list, as well as the Geeklist you can subscribe to get the list every week. So let's start looking at it. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and please subscribe. Please take a look at our other videos. So at the bottom, I didn't see any notable followers really that I thought were interesting, but there's a couple games we've been watching. So Paleo is starting to pick up some steam. I'm interested to see how this thing does just because of how good it looks for a cooperative game. And it's actually climbing in the ratings a little bit for its new ratings. We'll have to see how it keeps doing. Praga Kaput Regni is staying strong, but not as strong this week. So we'll have to keep watching this. And Dwellings of Eldervale is doing really well. I'm debating on getting this one myself. The Dice Tower, I think, did a review of it, and it was pretty strong. So I'm actually interested in this one. Micro Macro Crime City is continuing to do well, although it's still low number ratings. We'll have to see how this one does as it climbs. And the Red Cathedral, we're going to be watching this one for, as I mentioned, potentially Kennerspiel. I think it's got a shot at. I think it hits all the right notes, although there's probably a lot of competition this year for it. So let's get into the top 10. So number 10 is Viscounts of the West Kingdom. We're not going to look into this one. I've shown it in previous weeks, but we will look at these ratings. So we have new ratings of 8.10. We already have 1380 ratings. This is actually interesting. I ended up picking up this game after watching some other reviews, so I may end up doing a review in the future for this one. It looked really good, and I plan on eventually getting Tome Saga, so I was like, well, I better get the trilogy and flesh it out. But this one looks to be doing good. I mean, it's already going to be at 673. I think this is definitely... I mean, it's looking likely it'll hit top 100 at this point, but we'll have to see. I mean, it's rocketing up pretty quickly. It could peter out, but it's already got 1,380 ratings. We'll have to keep an eye on this one. So that's Viscounts of the West Kingdom. That is the third and last game in the Viscount or the West Kingdom trilogy. So number 9, Howler Tau. So this is, let's take a look at it, but let's look at these ratings first. This is Uwe Rosenberg's latest game. This is about hops farming in Bavaria. And as usual, it's farming. So it's been doing pretty decent. I don't know if it looks like it's kind of a collection of the same mechanisms he's always done. Farm and theme farming with worker placement and I guess claim auction per turner. I don't know. That's interesting. Probably an engine building game with income. I don't think it's got a particularly amazing look to it. It looks like the same art and everything as Caverna. It does have this weird board with a bunch of cubes. I don't know if that's workers or what. I don't expect this one to continue to climb as high as some of his other games, but we'll have to see. So that is Howler Tau, number 9. Number 8 is Pandemic Legacy Season 0. So this one is continuing its rocket up the charts, probably preordained to hit top 100, possibly to hit top 10, just because of its the Pandemic Legacy history, the fact it's got this unique Soviet spy theme, which I think intrigues a lot of people that may have not even wanted to play Pandemic Legacy Season 2. It's got these cool, actually one of the best things, these cool passports that you fill out through the game. You put your stuff on it. You put your name. It's hopefully it's not a... Okay. It's from the publisher, so probably no probably no spoilers here, probably just stuff you get at the very beginning. Anyway, it's kind of takes the Pandemic formula, brings in a better look, brings in a new theme, some new gameplay elements, and I think it's gonna do really well. And they got rid of the 2 different box colors, which made absolutely no sense. Just one box, simplify, and I think this one's going to do really well. So that is number 8, Pandemic Legacy Season 0. This is actually one of the games I was debating between playing this or Clank Legacy next for Legacy games, and I think we're probably going to do Pandemic Legacy next once we get past this pandemic. So that is number 8, Pandemic Legacy Season 0. Number 7, Beyond the Sun. So this is a really interesting game. We've looked at it a few weeks before. It's one of the stronger releases this year, and it's continuing to do well. I think people just really like building tech trees. I mean, the game basically is just a tech tree building game. I think it's priced a little bit high for how many components are in there, but they do have these custom dice. So, but even Roll for the Galaxy wasn't that expensive. It has a lot of dice. I think it's a good looking game. So this is a tech tree you're going to build throughout the game, and I think you need to get at least one of the final technologies to do well. And you're going to do it via, I think, different action choices and kind of worker placement spots, if I remember right. Let's see. It is a game I do want to play. Action drafting, tech trees, worker placement. It is one of the games I do want to play this year, although I don't know if I'm going to pick it up unless it's available in trade. So that is Beyond the Sun. I'm interested to see if this one will hit, like, maybe, I think it could hit top 200 pretty easily. I don't know if it'll hit the top 100. It may be too of a unique game, and it hasn't gotten that many ratings, even though it's widely available. So this one may not have the legs to get up there. Maybe it's the look of the game. Maybe it's, I don't know. I think from the reviews, the gameplay is definitely there to allow it to move up the list. So that is number 7, Beyond the Sun. Number 6, Chronicles of Crime 1400. So this is an interesting game. If you're not familiar, Chronicles of Crime is kind of a lighter weight detective game where it uses this app to essentially go through the crime story. Now this is different because it's all in 1400. So they did this series where they have Chronicles of Crime 1400, Chronicles of Crime 1900, and Chronicles of Crime 2400. Kind of like time stories, but you're going to play detectives in each of these eras. Now, I know a lot of people love Chronicles of Crime. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I never felt like the app did as much as I wanted it to, and I didn't think that the game itself was super, I guess maybe it wasn't complex enough for me. But I do think a lot of people love this game, and it is a lighter weight game. So if you're going to play with people that normally don't play board games, this could be a game you could bring out. I think the board is a little bit smaller, and it comes in a smaller box. So maybe they're going after this. Oh, you can just buy this like little box Chronicles of Crime and play through the scenarios, and maybe buy some more app scenarios, because since it's all done with QR codes, you can just buy more expansion packs and do more stuff with the same box. I don't think we're going to see this hit the top 100 for sure. It is interesting that Chronicles of Crime 1400 is the one that's on here. I don't know if the other ones have been released yet or shipped. Or maybe this is just the one that people are most interested in. So it's Chronicles of Crime 1400. Number 5 is Merv, Heart of the Silk Road. So this has gotten some early positive reviews, I think. It's a heavier game, 3.5 out of 5, with a 90-minute playtime, which I'll be interested if you can finish in 90 minutes a game with this much weight, but maybe it's possible. It's Ian O'Toole art, which I would say that this art is a little bit different than some of his previous artwork. It definitely has the Ian O'Toole style, but it has this, I guess, Persian or Indian, like Oriental look to it, which is, I guess it's supposed to be Persian in this case, right here. Yeah, and I think it looks good. It reminds me kind of Ranjas the Ganjas with an Ian O'Toole flair, I would say. So I'm interested to see how this one does. It's, let's see here. It is track movement, modular board, ownership, square grid. So these are kind of mechanisms that may or may not do well to move up really high on the list. Although the reviews, let's see how these ratings are. The reviews are not super strong for early rankings. So I'm gonna, guess that this isn't going to be hitting the top 100. But we'll have to see it in the coming weeks since it's pretty early. So that is Merv, the Heart of the Silk Road. Number 5. Number 4 is Under Falling Sky. So this is I think we've talked about this. We'll go over it briefly. This is a solo-only game based on a print and play, where you're essentially playing Space Invaders. This mothership's going to come down, and these fighters are going to go down the track and try to blow you up. It's got some unique mechanisms for rolling dice and placement. It's got a really good look to it. It had a shut up and sit down review that described the game really well and why you might like it. And I think it's going to do well. This might be one of the higher, by the time it's done climbing, this may be one of the higher rated solo games on this list. And it's going for a lot, which means it must be sold out. The third-party resellers are taking advantage there of Christmas time, I guess. Overall, I don't think a solo game has a chance at hitting the top 100, but we'll see. And maybe this will be... I mean, I guess technically Seventh Continent is kind of a solo game, and it did, but that was an exception. I think this one is going to climb, but I don't know how high right now. So that is number 4, Under Falling Skies. Number 3, Lost Ruins of Arnax. So this is a game I was pretty impressed with after playing. This is one of the 3, I guess, upcoming deck building worker placement combo games out there. I think this has a really good look. I don't think that it's going to... I guess these are the punch sheets. Punch boards. I think the look of the game, the artwork goes really well. The tokens are really cool. They have these... I mean, look at these tokens. They're really awesome looking. CG did an amazing job putting this production together. I think in the past, CG's kind of had low production values with higher quality game mechanisms. This one really took a solid game and built some high production values on it. I don't know how balanced the game is. And I felt like, even though I really liked the game, it played a little bit slower than I would have wanted it to. But that could have just been the people we were playing with. And I do think the combination works, although, again, I don't know if I would play this or Clank. I think Clank plays a little bit quicker. Feels like you're doing stuff faster, and the push your luck in Clank, I think, works really well with the deck building. It just kind of doubles down on the randomness to make a fun game, which again may not be balanced. So this is Lost Ruins of Arnak. I think this one will do well. I don't know if it's going to hit the top 100 or not, though. We'll have to see. It's climbing pretty. It's actually picked up some really solid ratings in the last 2 weeks. A lot of them. So maybe there's a chance for it. So that's number 3, Lost Ruins of Arnak. Number 2, Kingdom Rush Rift in Time. So this is the Kingdom Rush board game, which, if you're not familiar with Kingdom Rush, it's a tower defense game. And this is the board game version of it. Now, I will say I played Kingdom Rush a lot on the plane by myself. And apparently people think that this is a solo game. I think the look of the game is really good. If you look at this, the artwork looks very much like you're playing Kingdom Rush. The tiles are good looking. I'm not sure exactly. I guess you just have this kind of pathway, kind of like Castle Crashers where the things are going to march down. These tokens are cool. Oh, these guys are really neat. I wonder if they come like that. I doubt they come painted like that. Someone must have painted them. Yeah, that's a pretty nice paint job. Wow, that one looks really good. And the cat is really awesome. So I think it's got a really good look to it. I think it's got okay gameplay from the reviews I've read. Maybe better than okay. So I don't think this is going to be hitting top 100, but it might be a really good game. I am actually a fan of tower defense games, although I'm not sure I would set up a tower defense board game to play by myself when I could just play Kingdom Rush on my phone. But that's just my opinion. Looks like it's even available in the Geek Game Shop. Interesting. So they really pushing this out to a lot of people. Lucky Duck Games. I guess Chronicles of Crime, Lucky Duck Games. So this will probably do okay. I don't think it's going to be a top 100 game, but it could be a solid tower defense game, which I don't think we have a real solid tower defense game ish, except for maybe like Castle Panic. Yeah, I can't think of one. So that is number 2, Kingdom Rush Rift in Time. And the number 1 climber this week is Dune Imperium. So this is another deck building worker placement game, I believe. Yeah, worker placement deck building. Set in Dune, which it seems like they've really pushed these new Dune games out to coincide with the movie release that's coming up. And just, I guess every so often when there's something new with Dune, kind of Dune gets picked up. I think the look of the game looks good. It's kind of interesting. It's done by Direwolf. Same makers of Plank, I believe. I mean, I think the art on here works really well. I think the okay, that's kind of funny. Dune Sesame Street Edition. I think it's hard to tell. I know a lot of the early reviews and comments I've seen say it's a really good game. I think the look is good. I don't know, again, if this deck building worker placement game works too well. My understanding is this is like a higher interaction game, which, for my taste, I tend to not like too much interaction. I don't know if this goes beyond that. I think there's a kind of a sweet spot for me, which is low to very low interaction. But there are great games that have a lot of interaction, like Twilight Imperium, etc., that I also like. And it can be played solo. Wow. 6 games in about 48 hours and many more inside. So some people are really playing this solo, and it does have kind of a longer playtime too. But we'll see. I think that it's going to need some time to soak in and see where it lands. I know a lot of people probably pre-ordered this game just because it's Dune, just because it's new, just because it's this deck building worker placement game. So there you have it. That is the number 1 climber for the week of 12/16/2020. Again, if you like this video, please like and please subscribe. Please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.